Our planet is just buzzing with this incredible, beautiful, and honestly pretty fragile web of life. We call it biodiversity, and it's really just the staggering variety of living things all around us, from the tiniest microbe to the biggest whale. So let's dive in and explore what that actually means.
Okay, let's just start with a little thought experiment. Imagine you're that alien. You've traveled across the silent void of space, and you finally arrive here. And you know what? It wouldn't be our skyscrapers or our technology that would blow your mind. It would be the overwhelming, almost chaotic explosion of life in every possible shape and form. It's something we see every day, so we kind of take it for granted, but it is truly the defining feature of our world.
So to really wrap your head around the sheer scale of this, let's just throw some numbers out there. And this is only what we've managed to discover so far. Think about this. We've identified over 20,000 different species of ants alone. And hey, if you think that's a big number, hold on. Get this. Beetles. We're talking over 300,000 known species. That is just a mind-boggling variety for just one type of insect. And it's not just on land, of course. In the planet's oceans, rivers, and lakes, we know of at least 28,000 different species of fish, every single one perfectly adapted to its own little corner of the water world. And this explosion of life, it's not just animals. In the plant kingdom, wow, we're talking about nearly 20,000 species of orchids alone. These numbers are just staggering, and it's so important to remember. This is just the stuff we found.
Right, so all of this amazing variety, that's what we're talking about when we say biodiversity. It's a term that was really popularized by the sociobiologist Edward Wilson, and it helps us describe the whole shebang, the combined diversity at every level of life. From the tiny differences in genetic code within one species all the way up to huge, sprawling ecosystems like rainforests and coral reefs.
So that leads us to a huge question, right? Just how many species are we actually sharing this planet with? It sounds like it should be a simple question, but it turns out to be one of the toughest puzzles in all of biology.
Well, if you look at the official books, the species we've actually discovered and given a name to, that number is just over 1.5 million. That's our current official catalog of life on Earth. Okay, but here's where it gets really wild. That 1.5 million, that's just the tip of the iceberg. A much more conservative, sound scientific estimate from Robert May puts the actual number of species closer to 7 million. Think about that. That means millions upon millions of species are still out there, living their lives completely unknown to science. So, what does this menagerie of known life actually look like? Well, you can see the breakdown here across the big groups. You've got your plants, your vertebrates like us, and the invertebrates. But as you're about to see, one of these groups isn't just a slice of the pie. It pretty much is the pie.
I mean, just look at that. It's just incredible. Insects absolutely dominate. Of all the animal species we've ever recorded, a whopping 70% are insects. Let me put it this way. If you gathered 10 random animal species from anywhere on the planet, 7 of them would be insects. We are, without a doubt, living on an insect's planet.
So it took millions upon millions of years for evolution to build this incredible living library. But here's the tough part. All of that biological wealth is now facing a threat like never before. We have officially entered a period that many scientists are now calling the sixth great extinction. Now look, the Earth has had mass extinctions before, right? 5 of them, in fact, long before we humans ever showed up. But this one's different. Why? The speed. The current rate that species are going extinct is estimated to be anywhere from 100 to 1,000 times faster than the natural background rate. And the cause, overwhelmingly, is us. I get it. This can feel a little abstract. You might be thinking, so what? With millions of species out there, does it really matter if we lose a few? If one type of obscure frog disappears from some remote forest, does anything really change?
That's a fair question. And to answer it, a Stanford ecologist named Paul Ehrlich came up with just the perfect analogy. It's brilliant. He called it the rivet popper hypothesis.
Okay, so picture this. An ecosystem, it's like a giant airplane. And all the species in it are the thousands and thousands of little rivets holding the whole thing together. Now imagine if every passenger on a flight started popping out one rivet to take home as a souvenir. At first, you might not notice anything. The plane seems fine. But as more and more rivets are removed, the whole structure gets weaker and weaker. And here's the terrifying part. You have no idea which rivet is the one holding the wing on. Losing a rivet from a seat cushion is one thing, but you pop that one critical rivet from the wing, and the whole system experiences catastrophic failure.
So what's causing all this? What's making us pop all these rivets from our own airplane? Well, scientists have a name for the main culprits, the evil quartet. Number one, and the biggest by far, is habitat loss, just clearing away the places where life lives. Then you've got overexploitation, hunting, fishing, harvesting faster than nature can keep up. Then come invasive alien species, which can just overwhelm native life. And finally, there's co-extinctions, which is this tragic domino effect where if one species disappears, another one that depends on it goes down with it.
Okay, so once you understand the threat, it becomes crystal clear why conservation isn't just some nice hobby for nature lovers. It's an absolute necessity for our own health, survival, and well-being. When we talk about why we should conserve, the reasons usually fall into three big buckets. First, there's the stuff we can literally use, the narrowly utilitarian arguments. This is the food we eat, the wood we build with, plants that give us life-saving medicines. Then there's the broadly utilitarian stuff, the huge essential services that ecosystems provide for free, like creating the oxygen we breathe or pollinating our crops. And finally, there's the ethical argument, the simple idea that every species has a right to exist and that we have a moral duty to be good stewards of the planet.
All right, so if the why is so clear, the big question becomes how? How do we actually do this? How do we go about protecting this incredible biological wealth?
Well, when it comes to conservation, there are basically two main playbooks. The first is called in situ, which just means on-site. This is when we protect an entire ecosystem, like creating a national park or a wildlife sanctuary. The logic is simple. Save the whole house and you save everyone living inside it. The other approach is ex situ, or off-site. This is when we have to take a threatened species out of its natural home to protect it. Think of zoos, botanical gardens, or even seed banks that preserve plant genetics. Now, with that on-site approach, we have to be smart about it. We can't protect every single square inch of the planet, so we have to prioritize. And that's where this crucial idea of biodiversity hotspots comes in. These are areas that have two things: incredibly high levels of species richness and a high number of species that are endemic, meaning they are found absolutely nowhere else on Earth. On top of that, these places are under severe threat.
And this is where it gets really hopeful. This strategy is unbelievably effective. Get this, all of these hotspots, all of them combined, they cover less than 2% of all the land on Earth. 2%. Yet, if we could strictly protect just those tiny areas, we could reduce the ongoing mass extinction by almost 30%. That is an incredible return on investment for our conservation efforts.
So I really want to leave you with this one last thought, this one powerful image. We are in a moment of incredible urgency. It's like nature's great library is on fire, and we are losing the books faster than we can even read the titles. It's on us. We have a moral, a practical, and frankly, an existential duty to step up and protect what's left of our planet's most astonishing feature, its incredible diversity of life.